want to make sure that if they lose me, there are no regrets. Now, you put yourselves in those shoes, guys. You have a claimant on the telephone. Maybe they're hesitating. Maybe they're qualified. Maybe it's a serious injury case. Maybe it's a type of case where you know there's high value. Maybe it's an open shut case for you. It doesn't matter. But if they're not ready to sign with your intake specialist on the phone, the question becomes, what are you prepared to do next? And if you don't have an escalation procedure in place to help your intake specialist, then you're leaving money on the table.
Welcome to the Intake Playbook, the podcast where we transform your law firm's intake process into a secret weapon. I'm your host, Gary Falkowitz, and I've spent more than a decade helping law firms across the country maximize their intake performance. If you want to stop leaving cases on the table, create a better client experience, and grow your revenue, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Say, Gary, just give me one piece of advice. What can I do to immediately fix something at intake? How can I immediately increase or improve my conversion percentage? And I tell them one word, escalate. Huh? Escalate? Escalate. Let me give you a story, Mr. or Mrs. Lawyer. When you go into a car dealership and you sit down at the desk with the sales agent and you spend about 30 to 45 minutes negotiating your monthly fees and your down payment, how many months you're going to have the car for, when you have to return it, you feel great about your negotiation skills and you bring them down from where they started. And then the sales agent says, great, sign here, let's get this over with. And then you tell the sales agent, not so fast. I think I need to go home, share this with my spouse, and get back to you. At that point, the sales agent has only two options. Either one, they're going to say, okay, thanks so much. Hope to see you soon. Remember where we are. Here's my card. Or they're going to be smart, or they're going to be more aggressive. And they're going to say, you know what, Mr. Falkowitz, hold on. Before you leave, allow me to introduce you to our manager. For me? How nice of them. They're going to get the manager for me? All I was looking for was an SUV lease for the next 3 years, but they're getting the manager for me? Wow. They must really think I'm special. And the manager comes by, shakes my hand, makes great eye contact, wearing a nice suit. And why are they doing that? Why is the manager taking time out of his or her busy day to shake hands with me? It's not because I'm such a valuable customer. It's because they know they don't want me leaving that dealership without a set of keys in my hand and a check in theirs. They know there may not be a second bite at the apple. They know that there's another dealership right down the road where I can go negotiate using the numbers I just negotiated here as leverage to get better numbers elsewhere. So they're putting all their cards, all their chips on the table, leaving everything on the field. They want to make sure that if they lose me, there are no regrets. Now, you put yourselves in those shoes, guys. You have a claimant on the telephone. Maybe they're hesitating. Maybe they're qualified. Maybe it's a serious injury case. Maybe it's a type of case where you know there's high value. Maybe it's an open shut case for you. It doesn't matter. But if they're not ready to sign with your intake specialist on the phone, the question becomes, what are you prepared to do next? And if you don't have an escalation procedure in place to help your intake specialist, then you're leaving money on the table. We should be celebrating our intake specialists when they need to escalate a call to a lawyer or to a manager. That means they understand how important this potential claimant is to our law firm. So don't look at escalation as some type of inexperience or lack of preparation on behalf of our intake specialist. Look at it as our intake specialist understands what our goals are. And they're going to do everything in their power to maximize the conversion of qualified leads. Celebrate the escalation. Don't denigrate the escalation.
Thank you for listening to the Intake Playbook podcast. If this episode sparked a new idea or insight, take a moment to screenshot it and post it in the Intake Playbook group on Facebook. Share what resonated with you or what you'd like me to dive into next. Your input helps shape this podcast, and I'd love to hear from you. Let me ask you this. Is your intake process maximizing every opportunity? If not, I created the Intake Masterclass to help. Inside, you'll get access to the tools and strategies I've used to help firms transform their intake process and turn missed opportunities into measurable wins. Plus, You'll join a network of professionals all focused on growing their firms. The ROI you'll see from refining your intake will speak for itself. Visit intakeplaybook.com today and start making every lead count. Thank you again for spending your time with me on the Intake Playbook podcast. Remember, intake isn't just about systems. It's about building trust and creating connections. Keep pushing forward. And if you're looking for more resources or details from today's episode, check out the show notes at intakeplaybook.com. I'll see you there.